Ladies and gentlemen, I don't do build videos, and since you just clicked on a thumbnail that is blatantly for a build video, I do understand the irony in that statement. So maybe a better way to put it would be, I've made over 100 Destiny videos on this YouTube channel, and I have not done a full-fledged build video until today. I was set to do one of my 5-minute exotic armor reviews on Wings of Sacred Dawn by request of NA Painter. And this was a review that I was dreading, by the way, because if you're equipping Wings of Sacred Dawn these days, it's almost nonsense not to pair it with Tree Dawnblade, which just so happens to be a subclass that I hardly ever use. Oh, and I can feel the breeze from the collective head snap on that one. Whoa, Ironworker, you're a Warlock main and you don't use Tree Dawnblade? I mean, no, it's just not my style. And by that, I mean, I'm just not a good enough player to be effective with it. But I'm getting off topic. Wings of Sacred Dawn. How can I do a review on this exotic that's any longer than 30 seconds long? I really don't think it's possible, unless I just ramble on for a few minutes, kinda like I'm doing now. But I'm done now, I'm done. Build video, first one on the channel. Even gave it one of those super cute build names, the Flying Bowman. It sounds stupid, I know, but it's accurate. It doesn't leave a whole lot to the imagination as to what's going on here, now does it? And I'm rambling again, but maybe the only way for you to stop me droning on is to hit the like and subscribe button. Try it, see if it works. Magic, right? Did you actually do it? No? Well, it was worth a try. But into the build, and what are we working with here? Well, obviously we're using Wings of Sacred Dawn, which gives us Warlock folk the ability to jump and suspend ourselves in the air for a short period of time by aiming our weapon. For the subclass, you guessed it, because I already told you, Tree Dawnblade, or Attunement of the Sky if you'd prefer me to use its government name. If you're not familiar, this skill tree does have a lot going on with it since it received its rework, and we can make use of basically all of it for this build. First off, Heat Rises. By consuming our grenade, we can extend our glide time and completely negate any in-air accuracy penalty for 10 seconds. Winged Sun allows us to aim our weapons in the air without plummeting to the ground. Also, Final Blows when in the air will extend a duration of Heat Rises and grant melee ability energy, which is great because Celestial Fire can serve as a very strong ranged melee opener or cleanup ability. And then Icarus Dash is a fantastic mobility perk. For me, it's more heavily used when trying to prevent myself from falling off the edge of the map, but for a more skilled player, the mid-air dodge is great in gunfights and for moving around the map more quickly. For my stats, I am running maxed out Discipline to ensure that I can proc Heat Rises as often as possible. And I am a little light in the strength department, but here's to hoping that I can get enough in-air kills to keep that melee charged up. The star of the show here is going to be LeMonarque, simply because the thing hits like a truck and can leave enemy guardians one-shot for easy cleanup kills. Speaking of cleanup, I'll be running Dire Promise as my swap to weapon. A lot of people like to use 110 hand cannons here, but that's a little beyond my skill level. And just a few mods that can help our cause. Precision weapon targeting so both our hand cannon and our bow can be a little more fluid and forgiving. Enhanced bow loader to get that next arrow ready more quickly, and enhanced unflinching bow aim because flinch sucks. And then I always run taking charge with high fire energy, because having more damage is better than not having more damage. So let's get into the Crucible and see what this build can do. Let me just start off by saying I had a really rough go with this build in my first couple of Crucible matches. This probably had a lot to do with the fact that I almost never use Tree Dawnblade. I feel like this is a skill tree with almost an unlimited skill ceiling, but the skill floor is sitting like right at the bridge of my nose. Maybe some players can hop onto it and just have a natural affinity for the skill tree, but for most, I'd say using it to its max potential is gonna require some practice. Because the more I fooled around with this build and kinda developed a feel for the nuance of the skill tree, things started to go better. And honestly, I was having a lot of fun with this build by the end of it. Using the vertical space of Crucible maps with LeMonarque felt refreshing. I'm usually a boots on the ground, peek shoot type of player when using a bow, but being up in the air gives the ability to create sight lines from angles that enemy players aren't expecting to be engaged from. But attacking from the air also allowed me to play a little more aggressive, knowing that if I tagged someone with LeMonarque, I could easily continue to glide in their direction, or use Icarus Dash to quickly close the gap for an easy cleanup with either my melee or my hand cannon. And really, I think almost any weapon with halfway decent range or handling could work just fine as a swap to weapon here. And if you really wanted to do dirty things to the enemy team, you could always equip that one grenade launcher, whose name I will not mention. There are a few pitfalls to watch out for though. The first being, I don't think you want to try and force the playstyle that this build enables. Hanging out in the air at all times is often not a great idea. While you are creating new sightlines for yourself, you're also leaving yourself exposed to gunfire from a lot of different angles. And when scoped in with Wings of Sacred Dawn, you're a sitting duck. I'm a big advocate for smart play, and I would suggest waiting for advantageous situations to go airborne. Also, this build does lose a lot of its luster when the Heat Rising perk is not activated. When it is active, your bow shots really do seem to land right on point. But the hit to the in-air accuracy that you take when it is not active is very noticeable. And while it's not impossible to land your shots with LeMonarque without it, it does make it that much harder. And then if you're looking to be extremely competitive in the Crucible and really playing to win, I'm not sure if this is the loadout that you're going to want to be running. I would venture to say that there are people out there that could be very effective with this setup and playstyle. But for most Guardians, including myself, swapping the bow out for a sniper rifle would probably be a good idea from a usability standpoint. This is a fun build, and it does provide an interesting change of pace in PvP, and I'm really not sure if it's anything more than that. But it can be an extremely satisfying way to play when you start chaining some of those airborne kills together. But it's a tough one to get a handle on. There's just a lot of moving parts, and I would probably have to spend many more hours with this loadout to reach the point of proficiency. But hey, nobody ever said that you have to go into PvP and sweat your junk off every match. And this build can serve as a fun loadout if you just want to head into the Crucible and goof around for a little bit. I really enjoyed it, maybe you will too. If you get a chance to try it out though, please let me know down in the comments your thoughts on it. And if you did enjoy this video, a like would be greatly appreciated, and consider subscribing to the Ironworker Gaming channel to keep up with the steady flow of Destiny content that I'm working hard to produce. If you'd like to catch me live, I do stream on Twitch from time to time. You can head over there and drop Ironworker814 a follow and you'll get notified whenever I hop on. If you'd like to get a hold of me, you can always message me on Twitter or simply comment down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. And with all that being said, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out this video. You guys are awesome and I will catch you on the next one.